As a kid, all a nigga wanna have was a Burberry scarf and $3 in my pocket. Instead I got beat with a switch, but I don't give a fuck, but it's on my body. Scars all up on me, but I run around from everybody. Life lesson learned, I better learn from this bitch, nobody. She pushed me around, she didn't give no motherfucks about it. She broke my heart 3 times, but I ain't getting...
The Los Angeles Rams are going to be taking on the San Francisco 49ers. So for the 49ers last week, you lost to the Miami Dolphins 43-17. Let me make sure I'm checking this out correctly because it is late at night. It's 3:30 a.m. at the time of recording this. Yeah, I'm reading this correctly. So the Miami Dolphins defeated the 49ers 43-17. And I mean, I only got 3 words to say. What the heck happened? I mean, I'm still trying to figure out how were the Miami Dolphins able to hang 43 points on the San Francisco 49ers. And I mean, it shouldn't really take all that much rocket science because just go check the turnover margin. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo got benched for CJ Beathard. He was 7-17 for 77 pass yards and had 2 interceptions. I mean, it was a turnover fest for the San Francisco 49ers, and a good way for your team to get upset is by turning the football over. And Miami was able to take advantage of that. I mean, this secondary, I don't know what the heck happened to this secondary. I know they have a couple of injuries. I know they have significant injuries on the defensive line. But Jesus, man, I mean, Ryan Fitzpatrick tore this 49ers secondary up. He had 350 pass yards, 3 touchdowns, was averaging 12 yards per pass. I mean, the 49ers, man, they have a lot of things that they have to get correct. And I understand that the 49ers are having a lot of injuries that they have to deal with. But in my opinion, I think that they have one of the best coaching staffs in the NFL. And when you have good coaches, your coaches, depending on how good your coaching staff is, should be able to still be able to win games despite not having their best players because of how good they are when it comes to strategy and game planning. So, I mean, the 49ers rushed for over 100 yards in their loss against the Miami Dolphins. And normally when the 49ers run for over 100 yards in the game, they don't really lose all that often. So, I mean, they got dominated by the Miami Dolphins. And, I mean, you're facing an LA Rams team right now that is clicking on all cylinders, offensively and defensively, because they put on a defensive clinic against Washington last week. So, I mean, for the 49ers, man, I mean, the first thing that you got to ask yourself is, what's going to happen with Jimmy Garoppolo? Is Jimmy Garoppolo going to bounce back? Now, it was Jimmy Garoppolo's first game back from that injury that he suffered a couple of weeks ago. And we can tell that he showed some signs of field rust. I mean, this dude didn't really look himself. So, I mean, the 49ers need him to jump back to reality because if he has another game that he struggles, then if you're a general manager, John Lynch, and your head coach, Kyle Shanahan, you have to look at yourself. You have to say, hey, man, this guy has struggled for 2 games in a row. Is this really the franchise guy that can lead us to the promised land for years to come? So, I mean, for the Rams, on the other hand, I mean, you are a 3.5-point favorite, which is really surprising me because I thought the Rams would be favored to win this game by at least a touchdown. But I think that Vegas is giving more respect to the 49ers, considering the fact that they have a lot of injuries, which is really surprising to me. But, I mean, can the Rams stop the run game? And, I mean, can the 49ers stop the run game? This is the battle of some of the best running football teams in the NFL. The LA Rams are currently 7th in the NFL in rushing yards per game, running for 139 rushing yards per game. The 49ers are 10th in the NFL rushing yards per game with 129. And I mean, both of these two teams are really good against the run as well. I mean, the Rams defense is 10th in the NFL rushing yards per game, allowed 106.4, and the 49ers allow 107.4 rushing yards per game, which is 11th. So I want to see which team's offense is going to be able to establish the run game. And for the 49ers, I mean, that's really important to your offense because for the LA Rams, I mean, even if the run game isn't going, you can still throw the football pretty effectively. But with the way that Jimmy Garoppolo has played this season, I mean, the 49ers are at their best when they're able to get the run game going. So, I mean, I think that if you had to ask me which team needs to establish the run game more, I think it would have to be the San Francisco 49ers, because with how Jimmy Garoppolo has played right now, I mean, you don't want to give Jimmy Garoppolo a full game on his back when he has to carry the 49ers to a victory. I think the 49ers' best chance to win this game is by running the football, because as of right now, I simply don't really trust Jimmy Garoppolo. And the 49ers' third down offense has to improve, because the 49ers were 2 of 10 on third down against the Miami Dolphins. I understand that the Miami Dolphins have some talent on defense, but there's really no reason why the 49ers should only convert 2 out of 10 tries on third down. Like, that's a big recipe for also losing to teams that you have no business losing to. And the Rams have one of the best third down defenses in the NFL. They're 5th in the NFL in third down conversion percentage. So, I mean, for the 49ers, you got a really tough task ahead of you offensively against a pretty good and stout LA Rams defense. And the 49ers defense is also really good on third down as well. They're 8th in the NFL on third down conversion percentage. A lot of teams can convert 38.10% of the time. So, I mean, this is a interdivisional matchup. This is a really big game for the 49ers, because if they lose this game, they'll drop to 2-4. There'll be a couple of games behind Seattle and a couple of games back of the LA Rams. And then at that point, you're kind of going to be in desperation mode, because you cannot afford to be a couple of games back in this division, especially with the way that Arizona still looks like they're kind of peaked. Still don't really know what's going on with Arizona. I don't know if they're a good team or a bad team, but we're going to see Monday night when they face Dallas. But I mean, this is a really big game for the 49ers, man. I mean, you have to win this game, man, because if not, you're going to drop to 2-4. And I know you've suffered a lot of injuries. They even had more injuries to the backups. But I mean, listen, man, the 49ers have to find a way to pull this game out, man. And I mean, if you can stop this run game of the LA Rams, I mean, that really is a big part of the offense, because with the run game, they utilize play action. So, I mean, this game is going to come down to whoever is able to stop the run. Okay? So, I mean, the Rams are favored to win this game by 3.5. Like I said earlier, I think that Vegas still has a little bit of hope and still has a little bit confidence in the 49ers that they do have a pretty significant chance of winning this game. But, I mean, ultimately, I have to take the Rams to win. I wouldn't be surprised if the 49ers win this game. But as of right now, I mean, I just think that the 49ers are just too depleted. Like, their defense doesn't look like the defense I saw last year. And I know, like I said, they've had a lot of injuries. But, I mean, with the way that their secondary played against the Miami Dolphins, I know it was just one game. But, I mean, golly, man. I mean, they got shredded to bits against the Miami Dolphins, man. So, I mean, I got to take the Rams to win this one. I think the Rams get the victory. 24-20 is my final score prediction in this game. I just think that this is a matchup that favors the LA Rams, because you look at the 49ers, they're basically playing guys off the street at this point on the defensive line or the defensive side of the football. I mean, they just have too many big holes right now due to injury for me to take the Rams to lose this game. And I mean, like I said, Jimmy Garoppolo hasn't really played great that season. I was thinking that Jimmy Garoppolo was an above average quarterback, but I mean, as of his play so far this year, it hasn't really been great. But I mean, like I said, maybe the 49ers rushed him back from injury too soon. But I mean, they have to get something figured out, man. And if the Rams are able to stop the run game, then this could be a long afternoon for this 49ers offense. So they really have to get something going. They have to get something figured out. But I'm taking the Rams to get the victory here.